I like living. I have sometimes been wildly, despairingly, acutely miserable, racked with sorrow, but through it all, I still know quite certainly that just to be alive is a grand thing. The impossible could not have happened, therefore the impossible must be possible in spite of appearances. Instinct is a marvelous thing. It can neither be explained nor ignored. Good advice is always certain to be ignored, but that's no reason not to give it. Words, mademoiselle, are only the outer clothing of ideas. It is completely unimportant. That is why it's so interesting. I don't know at all, and that's what's frightening the life out of me, to have no idea. The world is full of good people who do bad things. To every problem there is a most simple solution. Fear is incomplete knowledge. It is odd how, when you have a secret belief of your own which you do not wish to acknowledge, the voicing of it by someone else will rouse you to a fury of denial. Two people rarely see the same thing. A woman should have a certain respect for herself, and not submit to humiliation. The human face is, after all, nothing more nor less than a mask. He laughs best who laughs at the end. I suppose what I really am is restless. I want to go everywhere, see everything, do everything. I want to find something. Yes, that's it. I want to find something. That's the secret of existence. We're all a little mad. Where do one's fears come from? Where do they shape themselves? Where do they hide before coming out into the open? To keep something wild is far more difficult than to preserve it. One of the oddest things in life, I think, is the things one remembers. If the fact will not fit the theory, let the theory go. It is a curious thought, but it is only when you see people looking ridiculous that you realize just how much you love them. When will a woman lie? Sometimes for herself, usually for the man she loves, always for her children. I find most of the human race extraordinarily repulsive. They probably reciprocate this feeling. Fortunately, words, ingeniously used, will serve to mask the ugliness of naked facts. There are questions that you don't ask because you're afraid of the answers to them. Born poor doesn't mean you've got to stay poor. Money's queer. It goes where it's wanted. Sometimes what you think is an end is only a beginning, and that wouldn't do at all. A man travels fastest who travels alone. I suppose, like most young people nowadays, boredom is what you dread most in the world, and yet, I can assure you, there are worse things. One must have consideration for those less gifted than oneself. Let us think only of the good days that are to come. In all the world, there is nothing so curious and so interesting and so beautiful as truth. Of course, if you've made up your mind about it, you'll find an answer to everything. What a lot of funny people it does take to make a world. People with a grudge against the world are always dangerous. They seem to think life owes them something. There is something about defenselessness of youth that moves me to tears. Youth is so vulnerable, it is so ruthless, so sure, so generous, and so demanding. Every new development that arises is like the shake you give to a kaleidoscope. The thing changes entirely in aspect. Everything is simple, if you arrange the facts methodically. Where large sums of money are concerned, it is advisable to trust nobody. It is a great advantage to be intelligent and not look it. I wouldn't go so far to say as I've got a plan, but I've got an idea. It's a very useful thing sometimes, an idea. Oh no, I'm not brave. When a thing is certain, there's nothing to be brave about. All you can do is to find your consolation. It's as easy to utter lies as truth. It is one thing to know that a man is guilty. It is quite another matter to prove him so. The trouble in this life is that you never really know where you're going. Give up the past. Turn to the future. What is done is done. Bitterness will not undo it. Let me know which quote was your favorite in the comments, and subscribe for more inspirational quotes like these.